Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a beautiful morning over here from Helsinki, Finland, and as always, want to be wishing you a very happy and special Friday. We got a little bit of price action going on right here, right now, so I won't spend too much time, but I'm feeling pretty damn good because I did get a full night of sleep last night. So with that said, as always, wish you the best, the happiest of the happiest, end of the weeks, or perhaps it doesn't even matter because, well, if you're here, you're probably a cryptocurrency trader. So let's get into the live stream right here, right now, and see what's going on in good old Bitcoin land as we take another leg up. In fact, this is kind of what we were looking for yesterday on the daily dollar time frame. Let me get it onto an exchange that is better for long-term analysis. There we go. This is Bitstamp right over here. Bitcoin confirming both an open and close above the blue 377 exponential moving average. That was kind of like the last nail in the coffin for me looking for further continuation, which we're getting right now, and basically right at those prior highs that we saw before. Exactly, exactly what we were looking for. So what happens now, right? What happens now? Well, overall, the direction that I'm looking for is bullish, but do I think that we have a pullback in this area? I mean, this is going to be an area of selling just in general. We're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback on shorter time frames, I'd imagine. But overall, the big news to me is, once again, and I want to repeat this, we have both open and close, a daily total above the blue 377 exponential moving average. That was, that was kind of the final thing that I'm looking for, although my eyes still need to get some saline solution for that, or whatever the fuck it is that makes them stop itching. More importantly, golden cross being played. We saw reaccumulation alongside the yellow 20 exponential moving average. It got picked up right over here. This was a confirmation on that. Then Bitcoin just showing strength ever so onwards after that. So that was kind of the process of me getting, being bullish on this time frame. Of course, mediated by, and more importantly, by the monthly, which closed above that yellow 20 exponential moving average, which we can get into in just a little bit. But overall, we do see daily Stokes gaining more momentum upwards. This was another, one of the other reasons why yesterday I was looking for more continuations onwards and upwards. And realistically, this is why I have that rule. Hey, when you have a golden cross like this, especially on exponentials with the green 55 and the purple 200, which there's been so many people like dissenting with this in the comments and whatnot. And I understand that, traditionally, if you go onto Investopedia and you look up the golden cross, going to tell you it's a 50 and a 200 SMA. Yes, I get that, but let me just tell you from experience, this is the way that I found to do it best. So hey, you can disagree, and technically, yes, you would be right. You would be right if you want to go off the Oxford Dictionary definition, but what makes money is the real question. And I'd say, well, you can decide for yourself. Anyways, we got the golden cross right over here. As long as we have the golden cross between the green and the purple, I'm not short. I'm not bearish as long as we're above the yellow 21 exponential moving average. That's kind of like the governor. And you can see that Bitcoin is not only just using it to base off of and rally off of, but now we have a positive slope on that 21 exponential, which likely over the next maybe half week, granted that Bitcoin kind of keeps it here or higher on price action, will be getting above the blue 377 exponential, which will just provide another kind of impetus for support above a major level. So now the way that I see it is 5,300 is kind of a pivot point for some downside action. Of course, if Bitcoin were to really reverse here, I don't believe it would be appropriate to be too, what's the word that I'm looking for? Too not cautious, but too, sounding the alarm until this area breaks. If this area breaks, then yes, I'd be looking for a move likely down to this 4,900-ish level. But right now, that's not my first interpretation of what's happening. I'm bullish here. To put it quite clearly, 4-hour looking strong. Of course, all your oscillators are going to be telling you that this thing is way overdone. We do see 4-hour Stokes actually crossed. Are they crossed down right now? No, they're technically up, but they are way up there. Typically, it doesn't stay up there for too long, historically speaking, but during trending moves, they will. And that's kind of my point is that, again, just another thing between people who look at, Investopedia and say, the Stokes are high, we must go down. Or it's the same thing as saying like, bro, that RSI is real low. So we won't be going lower. We got to go up from here. It's like, no, that's not really, that's not the way that these things kind of work in trending moves. They can stay up. Oh my God, what is in my eye? They can stay up there for quite some time, and they will lie to you during trending moves, especially the Stokes. The Stokes are great for consolidations and ranging, but not during trends. And holy fucking moly, what's up? Who is that? Mohammer. Good to meet you, Mohammer, on Twitch. Thank you for following on Twitch, man. And if you haven't followed on Twitch already, well, maybe this is the day for the purple for the purple paradise. Anyways, 4-hour even 4-hour RSI is not really going to be giving us any sort of bearish divergence here. I don't really see anything like too much of note. I mean, yes, we did just kind of wick up to the prior high. So, you're going to get selling around that area most likely. Now, how far does this retracement take us back? Well, it's actually getting a little bit more aggressive right now. Let's see if we can get back down to around 54, 30-ish area. Don't really see too much, I don't really see too much damage being done. But of course, with the way that this wick is going right now, I mean, this is actually some pretty intense selling. Let's go check out what's doing on BitMexico. Let's see if this one gets picked up, because a lot of times you will see these hunts, but I wouldn't really consider it a confirmed hunt until we actually get back down below about 54.20, 54.30. Until that happens, I'd still kind of hang tight in this area. We've seen this so many times where Bitcoin will have a quick wick down, gets bought back up, and then we continue onwards and upwards in that same direction. So that's really what I have more importance on. But for now, this is just sellers kind of, or sorry, not these are people taking profits right now, is what it looks like to me. Getting towards the prior highs, which, very, very common type shit. Going into lower time frames, it's actually, what the fuck's going on over there? It's like the ghost in my apartment right now, opening windows. Fuck, man, that's scary. Anyways, yeah, all of our lower time frame stocks, they are going to be heading down. So do we have a pullback here? Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, but overall, like I said, 54.20, we'll call it 54.20 is that critical area. For now, I'm going to put it back on the 4-hour and put on the drawing tools. You can see actually this is kind of what I was talking about yesterday when we saw this. We saw this dip back down to test this horizontal right here at 53.50, then boom up to the next to our next resistance right in this box territory in confluence with CMEs right over here, getting into this blue box territory. And then it's better to see on spot. You don't really see it on CMEs, but we do have a nice pullback, about a $50 pullback. So if you did play the scalp, that's essentially what I was looking for. That's it. It's not anything like too crazy. And then continuations onwards and upwards towards our prior highs, which now I think is, offers up the chance for like a legitimate pullback if we want to do something in this range. Now, more importantly, when we bring up our oscillators right here, again, I don't really see any sort of divergences just yet, but I will want to see the RSI pop back down and test this exponential at some point. How long does it take to happen that? It's not about how long does it take, it's about when it happens. That's the time to actually take a position. As I would imagine that we probably do go into a little bit more consolidation relatively soon. Overall, though, going over the higher time frames, starting off with the 12-hour, this is pretty damn strong. We do see 12-hour Stokes still fully wrecked, still fully powerful. And, basically right up towards the next resistance. I mean, yes, it's, a few bucks off, but hey, close enough is close enough. And when you're trading, you can't be too specific with these things. For full disclosure, I did not take any positions on my streamer account. I am long on my main account from 5350 or something like that, or 5300, whatever it was. But my streamer account, I did not take any positions on this. Basically still holding flat, although my count, value is long technically if you want to get like super specific with it. Either which way, I'll be looking to play. I'll be looking to play off this and curl some of these in relatively soon, depending upon do we pop back down and consolidate a little bit lower, then I'll happy to get rid of the short. If we do move up a little bit higher, I'll actually probably get rid of the long and then reposition lower, as I do think that we probably it's going to take a little bit of time to probably grind this 5600-ish area out. I'd imagine that we probably put in some time, and then I want to see us come back down and retest this 5480-ish area, so about a 120 bucks lower. So I do like that for a trade, but that's going to be dependent upon where we close this next 12 hour. Does the 12-hour close above about 5,500, then yes, I will be looking to do that. I guess I'll just add on long right over here, or get rid of the short, whichever way that you look at it. Just basically having more long exposure essentially. My main account, I won't really be trading too much. Probably will be taking probably. I think I did take a little bit of profit right here. I don't know if I got hit. I'll check my other computer in just a few minutes. But what did we get up to? 55.70. Yeah, I think I was like 55.68 or some shit like that. But you never know on Deribit. You never know how high Deribit goes because it's a little bit off. I think I had a very small order layered there, and then some a little bit higher. Anyways, okay, all right. So yeah, 12-hour right over here. Again, as far as stocks go, looking fine. As far as RSI goes, looking fine as well. I would imagine that we do find a little bit of resistance around this zone, or are we already breaking it? I would say, yeah, we are. Actually, we are. But of course, it's going to depend on where this one closes. Like I said, the next kind of trade that I'll be looking for is seeing where this 12-hour closes. We have another 5 hours and 13 minutes and 35 seconds to wait on this one. If it closes above 5,500, then I'll be a buyer in this blue box territory and be targeting a move, back towards the prior highs and probably beyond at that point. Probably beyond. Like I said, daily looking strong as well. Daily Stokes headed up, fully wrecked. Daily RSI regained the exponential confirmed 2 days ago. which was my impetus for saying, I'm kind of generally bullish here, and it looks to me like it's looking fine. 2-day, this is very interesting right here. This is very, very interesting. So we have so this is your 2-day chart, right? Let me actually go to Bitstamp. We have closed our last 2-day dildo, confirmed last night at 8 p.m. Eastern time above the 200 exponential moving average. That was a big deal for me as well. Then continuation on top of that after retesting it. I mean, this is just beautiful. Sometimes technical analysis, it actually works. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But more importantly, when I look at this, our oscillator is actually quite bullish as well. Look at this. The 2-day Stokes have been heading down ever since the 25th of April, with price action essentially going flat to up. So that's just allowing the oscillator to reset. And now, if that thing crosses back up, we're gonna make new highs and move up to probably around 6,000. Not only that, but 2-day RSI regain the exponential. That looks good to me as well. Now we will likely be creating some divergence at some point, depending upon when we put in this next this next high. But you just don't know how high it's going to get before that happens. The way to play that is to confirm the local high, then you confirm the bearish divergence, then you take position. At least this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just sharing how the best ways that I found to kind of play that sort of a thing without getting absolutely shreked. As I feel like a lot of people don't understand that if you don't wait for a local high, everything's going to look like divergence. And then you become some sort of divergence fuck. Anyways, going over here to the 3-day, same sort of thing, right? We're going to have a chance to confirm above the 200 exponential later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Not only that, but we do see 3-day Stokes just crossing back to the upside. I mean, this would be cause for concern, typically speaking, because we're so deep into this territory, and just, over the history of Bitcoin, it doesn't like to stay in this territory for too long, calling some major tops for the past year as well along the way. But it's still gaining momentum to the upside. It's one of those things. Don't fight the breakout when it does happen. Not only that, but we got the 21 and the 55 crossing the upside right over here. Last time that we saw that was actually at a price point of all the way back here, at a price point about 272, leading up all the way to $20,000. It didn't get crossed back to the bearish side until 9,600 here, about a few years later. So again, these things do matter to me, and the fact is more importantly, we're actually playing them right now. We're playing them. So this is kind of this was kind of the order of operations in me, looking for more and more upside as these events unfold. What else do we have to worry about? Yeah. So sorry, did we talk about the 3-day RSI? Yes, we're regaining the we've regained the exponential on this. That's good. Again, gonna create some bearish divergence at some point in time. So it is on the radar, but needs to confirm a local high first. Then we can start to play that out. When that does happen, I will be looking for a move back down, probably around wherever the 21 exponential moving average is during that time. So this could be, this could be days, weeks off. I don't know. But when it does happen, that's a play that I'm looking for, to be quite clear. Not only that, but 3-day Jewel. 3-day Jewel, look at this. The slope on the light blue is lessening. It is lessening, and this is, again, a very, very similar reaction to what we saw on the last time that we saw it get this deep into this more critical territory. If you look over here in November 2016, you do see that we have all the same sort of ingredients. We have red in the background. We have it just getting a little bit into this more critical area above the 80 marker, and then getting negative slope, but immediately getting picked up after that. And what happened in when was this again? 2017? No, it was 2016. Right over here, we had about a 12% drop down, right? And what do we have, in current times, as this is the most, the most similar setup with this? Well, we got the signal right over here at the top at about 56.50. Hey, get on over here, you measuring tool, you fuck. Am I recording? Yes. Okay, good. Oh man, didn't fuck up that one. And yeah, we've had about an 11% down move off that as well. So here's the thing: is that also notice that most of these other drop downs from these from these critical signals on the 3-day Jewel result in 30 to 40% drop downs, and in some cases even more, coming off the parabolic tops. But just kind of measuring them out, you see, it was 40, 35, 35. Another one right over here, 35. It's damn good at calling these tops. But here's the thing: on the one off that we look at right over here, that looks very similar to our current setup. We didn't get that deep into the critical territory, right? While all these other ones that have much more significant pullbacks are getting way into there, around the 90 marker. But look at this. After we get this marker, on this less powerful one, come down, it gets picked up along the pink, and then just gets walked up, putting in this next high, and that's where the real play is. That's where the big 30 to 40% move is. This one being 35.5, right smack dab in the middle. So Bitcoin to me probably setting up for something similar, actually. To be quite honest, I think technically from the 3-day digital time frame, I mean, 200 simple is actually not too far off, to be quite honest. What a 35% move down off that look like? That put us right around 4,500, which at some point I would like to see retested, actually. Yep. So that's what I kind of have my eye on right now. It does seem to me that with price action moving up and this also to kind of flattening out and actually is technically still down, that would be once again allowing it to reset and probably put in a deeper run as we've seen on these more aggressive drives downwards that we've seen before. Anyways, going over here to the weekly. Weekly Stokes going to be just straight up fucking erect. Again, levels that we haven't seen since December 2017, literally at $20,000 price per Bitcoin. But, again, don't fight the momentum. And the second that we take out the high of this prior week's dildo at 56.27 on stamp and adjust for exchanges, it will be different. That's going to open up the floodgates for a move. 5,800 is the next one on the table, right? Personally speaking, though, whether this is higher time frame type thinking, right? So to separate the lower time frames, which you're going to get pullbacks and variability all every which way. Hey, what's going on over here? I have like a Discord desktop app open. I don't want that open right now. It's also quite annoying too. I don't think it works all that well. Let me just check this. All right, good. And okay, great. Yep. So here's the thing is that if we do take out the week's out the prior week's high at 56.27 on stamp, the next area that I'll be looking towards is about 58, 59. I think that if and when Bitcoin does take out 58, 59, let's just call it 58.50 to kind of mark it in the middle. I don't think that Bitcoin stops at 6,000. That is a silly thing that a lot of people are kind of purporting right now. What I think is a lot more likely is that if Bitcoin is going to sell off, it happens from that 58.50-ish area, not 6,000. The second that Bitcoin takes out 58.50, that's the lows of 2018, right? And if it takes out the lows of 2018, we're going to go to 22. Oh my God. 62 to 64-ish area. Everyone talking about 6,000 is just spreading this meme, in my opinion. If you've watched markets before, when they're actually like crawling out of some major massive areas, it's that first major reaction that you want to see off the prior lows, and that's not necessarily 6,000. 6,000 is just easier to say, but really the lows for this area were like 58.50. On top of that, that this is all way far out. I'm not saying that this is happening today or tomorrow or the next day. When we're talking about a weekly, we got to be on a weekly time frame. So it's it's going to sound silly right now, but let's revisit that idea in a couple weeks and see what's going on. Speaking of what's going on, I actually just spent the reason why this video is being uploaded a little bit later is I was watching that video by Four Non-Blondes because last night Elsa wanted to watch this, do you know He-Man? And he has like this song called Hey Ya, Hey Ya, and it's amazing. And I don't really know what He-Man is. Like, I didn't grow up watching him or anything like that, but apparently, but I just thought that, that was like a part of his show or some shit. But apparently someone actually just put that together. So I'm like, wow, that's really impressive. That's really impressive, actually. That's really impressive. Oh, I do want to show this as well. Okay, so this is very bizarre. You very rarely see this, actually. Very rarely see this, but this would be a very powerful move if it does happen. I want to bring on the Bollinger bands for a second. So, last week we actually closed the Bollinger bands below the top Bollinger band, which typically that incites a test back down to the low side, back down towards the median. The median moving average. It's just a 20-something moving average. This brown moving average right over here. Usually that's what happened. That's a statistically more likely thing to happen. As you can see, we have not done that. And again, this is just another testament to the fact that the people looking at this and saying the 50 simple moving average, the 50 simple moving average, it's gonna stop everything. It's like, no, when you see consolidation like this at a major resistance, which is not just going to be denoted by the weekly Bollinger bands, but also by the 50 simple, which I'll bring it on right now. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like that. It's going to be the red moving average right here. When you see consolidation at a major moving average like this and you're holding price action right there, that's bullish. And it would be bearish if it was opposite. If we were like resting on support like this for weeks at a time. I can see over here, we came down, it got bought up relatively immediately, the next week. This one spent the last like month and a half at this area. Sorry, maybe not a month and a half, but like month and a week at this area. So to me, if you're going off traditionally speaking, that is bullish. That is bullish. People who are looking at this to have the same reaction as 2014, 2015, that's not. You want to see an immediate reaction. You want to see an immediate reaction if it's gonna be played. It's or about immediate reaction. It's a weekly, right? So it's it's gonna be coming over the course of 7 days. But it would have happened right here, and we would have gotten continuation below the low of this dildo. In fact, what happened is that we're just kind of being walked up. No dildo is taking out the low of the prior for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, which. Again, it's hard to get bearish off something like that. That is a positive consolidation. Anyways, taking these guys back off and speaking directly towards the Bollinger Bands, what's going to be really interesting to me and what's going to really incite the next big upwards move is if we can close this weekly dildo above the top Bollinger Band, which is at about 54.90. So anywhere above 5,500, if we can do that, this will do that by Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see next week likely rocket itself towards 6,000. Very, very likely. I mean, 5850, 5,900 is extremely likely. And, do we sell off that area in first pass? At some point, we will have a deeper retracement. But there's no real way of knowing how deep how deep the rally is going to get before that happens. I mean, we can put on fibs and shit like that, but let's just see how helpful it would be. We got the 786 hanging out where 5850. So yeah, I do like that area. This area will be the area of question. Actually, I'm going to put in a nice. I'm just going to fit a blue box right here because I wanted about $100 either which way. Yeah, if we get above that area, then I'm looking somewhere between 62 and 64 essentially on spot charts. We also do see this rising trend line, this dotted trend line, which is going to be coming in that current trajectory somewhere right around 6,800 and rising over time. So 7,000, in a few weeks. So if I'm calling like a super high, like a potential high of this rally, that would be an area. Then also 62 to 63, somewhere in here. Could it also be 58 to 50 to 59? I think it's less likely. I think it's more likely that we actually move on higher. It's more, in my opinion, it's probably between 62 and 64 or 7,000-ish, give or take a few bucks. And then that's where we put in the next big high. And then we play out a legitimately major retracement, probably back down into like the mid 4,000s at the very least. So the next, that will be a big trade. That'll be, 30 to 40% trade, which I have a hard time arguing that is not worthwhile, as I make sure that this is all good and well over there. Jesus Christ, man. All right, there we go. Okay, turning off the Bollinger Bands, turning back on these beautiful exponentials, making sure that we get on the actual exponentials, not these silly simples. Simple jack moving averages. There we go. Okay, cool. And yeah, also on top of this week, barring any sort of major downside move, we will be getting a bullish cross of the red 10 simple and the yellow 21. What else do we have to talk about? Weekly RSI. This is going to retrace at some point in time, either time as well. But for now, we are trending. But it's just the more that we trend here, the bigger that this retracement is likely to incite itself. But make no mistake, when we're talking about a weekly, this could be a while out. It could be a while out. So I'm not really looking to switch positions up right now. For full disclosure, I am long on my main account. Let's see, monthly, of course, always want to talk about the monthly. I'll probably stop talking about it as much after this day, but we see monthly Stokes cross up. Actually, funnily enough, last time that we did that in 2014, 2015, that led on to a rejection right over here alongside the 21, but we have a different setup here. We took out the 21, the yellow moving average right here, and again, I always like to repeat this, and I know it's fucking annoying, but for the new people here, where I come from, I used to be a market maker, authorized trade on the Forward New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, and I used to judge stocks if they were, generally bullish or generally bearish, depending upon where they were positioned around this yellow 21 exponential moving average, and right now we are above, and we closed our first dildo above coming into this month in April, and first time in about 6 months, which actually, to be quite honest, I was not looking for this to happen, but that's why I don't trade my opinion. I trade technical analysis, and that's why I'm still holding long. And of course, from a monthly perspective, we could very easily have another drop back down to about 49.50, and it'd be all good. It'd actually still be bullish, but for now, it doesn't really look like that's like the route of transportation for this cone. It looks to me like we want to try up higher first before testing supports on the monthly. Of course, when I bring up our other oscillators, we do see monthly RSI going to be testing the exponential. I also get very apprehensive here too. It does make me apprehensive. That would be the impetus for coming back and testing the upper 4,000s. But for now, going off the lower time frames, it's still I don't really see it just yet. If anything, it'd probably happen in a few weeks if it were going to happen. On top of that, I want to bring up this as well. Again, don't really talk about this all that much, but the accumulation distribution indicator, which does have a positive slope. I only care about slope on this indicator. You'll notice that we got a negative slope in March 2018 right over here, beautifully done on the monthly, and we got a positive slope literally right on the bottom in January. Maybe not right at the bottom, but close enough to the bottom so far. Getting a positive slope on there, very similar to what we had in 2014, 2015 when the lows were being put in. So keep that in mind. This one does matter to me. The fact that we once again have a positive slope as price action closes above a major resistance, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. All right. Anyways, back on the cone, back onto the lower time frames. It does look to me like we did, and this is exactly what I was speaking about. Come back down, test the support, and then just it has a good close. We just closed this hourly doodle 3 minutes ago. Did we close any other higher time frames? Did we close a 2 hour? No, we did not. What about a 3 hour? Come on, tell me we closed a 3 hour. Nope, we didn't. Oh man. Okay, so only an hourly actually. That was the highest time frame. We will be closing a 4 hour in the next 57 minutes. Also an 8 hour as well. Let's actually see what the 8 hour is looking like. Looking strong, looking fine, barring any sort of sell off between now and the end of the hour. But when you get bought up like this, I think you're going to get some continuation. Yes, there is a nice wick to the upside. I do understand that, but I give the nod to the former trend until told otherwise. Always go with the former trend. At least that's been the best thing in my experience. Not only that, but we did close above. If we put on these horizontals here, we did close above this horizontal right here. We've come back and retested it a few times now. That looks good to me, man. And that's basically what you want to see as well. Let's go check out CMEs. I'm curious if CMEs took out the critical level yesterday night. Yes, they are right now. We are living above the 200 exponential moving average. Now, of course, this is not confirmed just yet, but the fact is look, yesterday we had a damn good close right at the 200 exponential. Come back down. Test the 10 simple to start the day, and then upwards and onwards. That's a good setup. Same thing with daily Stokes. Daily Stokes have been down this whole time. Price action has been moving up for the past 4 or 5 days. Daily Stokes have been headed down. Again, just allowing the oscillator to reset, as now we're kind of hinting at across the upside. And I do put much more weight on CMEs. CME, RSI regaining the exponential. Again, a lot of good things going on here. Weekly on this one, we will have resistance right around 58. Yeah, 50. How high did we get last time? This looks like it almost tested it, but this is all the way at 58.50. Yeah, 58.50 is the next big resistance in my opinion. So keep your eyes on that one. Keep your eyes on that one. Other than that, don't have too much to say about the about CMEs. If we can close today's daily above the 200 exponential at 54.30. We probably do come back down and test 54.50, but that's going to very likely be bought, and that's going to be the last stop before I move towards about 58. Again, done on a daily, so it's going to take some time, but hey, there you go. Let's see. What did GBDC do yesterday? GBDC looks like shit, actually. GBDC kind of looks like shit. So I don't, is it leading the market? I don't think so. Is it even relevant anymore? I'm not quite sure. Would I ever trade this thing? Fuck no. This thing looks like a dumpster fire waiting to happen. The second that Bitcoin gets an ETF, this is the second that this thing just loses all of its luster. Again, I'm speaking purely about technicals right now. I know that there are some fundamental things kind of going in the market with the New York Attorney General investigating Tether and Finex. That could be, is cause for concern. No doubt about that. Especially after it, came out that Finex, has dealings with drug cartels or some shit like that, or whatever it might be. Whether it's real or not, it sounds like they're really serious, and it doesn't matter if it's real or not. If they want to get them, they will get them. That's the whole thing, right? They will fucking get them. Anyways, let's see. Can I refresh that? Okay, good. Let's go check out the longs and shorts on good old Datamish. And we have actually more shorts. So shorts have added on Finex. They are paying a rather high rate, 0.06%. So you're going to be paying about, I don't know, $4,000 to $5,000 a day to hold $1 million worth of position. Being short, and you're also underwater at this point as well, so it's not the best setup versus about 18,400-ish longs. We can go back on over here. I know people have been hating when I do this as well, but hey, I can explain why it doesn't really matter. But looking at the shorts on Finex, we've been marching up on shorts ever since about the 22nd of April, I'd say. Just shorts adding and adding and adding. Well, if we go over here to Finex, what was price action looking like on the 22nd? Well, it's right over here, about 5,400. We were $500 above that right now. But even if you go on over here and you say, hey, this market doesn't operate in a vacuum, which is what I think a lot of people really need to understand. The market does not operate in a vacuum, and this is representative of the overall malaise in the market to begin with. Going over and looking at BitMexico, a lot of people probably putting on shorts right over here. When do we start to rocket up above price action? Well, when we start to hit those stops, which were likely layered around the 377. This is exactly what we spoke about for the last the last week or so. And well, now we're just kind of seeing more follow through on top of it, which, it's just bullishness begets bullishness, right? Okay, so speaking of bullishness, I mean, Finex is bullish as fuck. I know it doesn't matter because they have all sorts of weird shit. But if I'm just looking at this chart, this is rather bullish. Now, does that mean that is this more of an indication on the health of Tether? That's a good question. Higher prices here incite that Tether might not be as legitimate as people are purporting them to be. Or something else. Well, we can actually go check out the price of Tether, right? And the price of Tether is right around that 98-cent region. So Tether, 2 cents below parity, which is not good. We want to see Tether right around $1 within about 4 decimal places of that, not 2 cents away. That's too much, man. That's too much. Once again, suggesting that there is significant concerns in this market. We do see a lot of outflows from Bitfinex cold wallets. Does that mean that people are hodling? Does that mean people are concerned? It's probably a little bit of both. It's probably a little bit of both, to be fair, right? Again, nothing happens in a vacuum, and we can't decide the reasons why people do things, because people most likely don't even decide their own reasoning for doing things more often than not. We think we do, but we probably don't, because most of it's unconscious, right? It's unconscious decisions. At least that's what science says. It's about 90% of our decisions. So even discussing that sort of a thing is kind of irrelevant in my opinion, because we can't know. The one thing that we can know is price action, and this data right here, which is the most tangible, even though, some people think it's hocus pocus. Maybe it is, but it's been working, at least for me. So I'm happy with that. It's good enough, man. I don't care if it is hocus pocus or not. As long as it fucking works, it doesn't matter. That's all that matters. So yeah. I think I basically said everything that I want to say on Bitcoin. Let's go check out the other top shitcoins. We got Mr. Buteral right over here. People are going to get pissed about me looking at Finex. Finex bullish, wants to hit 179.5. Let's look at it versus a dollar on BitMexico. Jesus Christ, it's probably going to look the same. Oh, what? What is it? Is this bullish too? Well, fuck, man. It is bullish. Probably wants to take a leg up towards 166.5. Daily Stokes having a fresh cross up. Yeah, this one wants to charge up. Again, whatever Bitcoin's going to do, the alts are going to do. That's really the bottom line. Let's go look at Mrs. Litecoin. What's she doing? Mrs. Litecoin. Whoops. Finex. Nope. Let's go over to GDAX. Same sort of thing here. Yes, we are being held by the 21 at $74, but the second that we actually confirm above $74 on maybe like a 4-hour. Yeah, maybe like a 4-hour above 74. I'd be looking for a move up here towards about 77, 78-ish dollars. I do think that it does break that way alongside Bitcoin. Looking at the weekly, weekly is actually, very resilient in this area. It was going to be a big problem if it actually did dip below $66, but it held our support perfectly, man. Held this area perfectly. We had this area in for a long time, coming down and testing it right around $66, and beautiful reaction. Well, not the most beautiful reaction, but a good enough reaction off of it. So again, let's go check out traditional marks while we're here. Yeah, coming down to our first target. There we go. 289, 289.5. Yeah, close enough. Bounce back up by end of day, back above 291.18 cents. Okay, good. That's our bounce. I'd imagine that it probably puts in some time grinding this area, but I do think that it comes down a little bit further, actually. I do think that it comes down probably towards, ideally over time, I'd like to see 285. Is this the moment though? This weekly, Yeah, this weekly is looking a little bit weaker. To not no pun intended, but if we close it this weekly anywhere here or lower, I would be looking for further retracements, and I do feel pretty confident in saying that, even though I thought that right over here, I was drastically wrong on that, but I do believe that I will be right on this one, depending upon how we close today. I think it's quite likely. Okay, especially just wash some people out. We make some slightly higher highs and then wash a few people out, and then we'll figure it out from there if we want to continue or not. But for now, that's what I'd be saying. All right, let's go over the other top shitcoins. We got Cardano over here. What do we do here? I mean, it's really fucking weak is the thing. The thing is that it's not going to take too much to get the divergence spots on this side. So if we can confirm this area as a local low, how do we do that? All we have to do is take out the high of this dildo at about 1277 sat on Binance. If we can do that, then yes, I do think that this one pops back up to about 1380, 1400-ish area, something like that. Weekly is very bad though. Based off the weekly, I do not think that happens. The weekly is actually quite bearish and looks to me like it actually wants to head lower. So if this does pop up, I'd probably be a seller. Sorry about that. Highly unprofessional. Really annoying and really nasty. But hey, what else you come here for? No, just kidding. Sorry about that. Anyways, let's go check out BNB. BNB got picked up as well. I think that it probably does pull back to test like $22.69, but I believe that that's going to be a buy. Wow. Definitely the strongest chart I've seen in crypto. I was looking for a pullback to about $18.50. That's it's not happening this week. Very unlikely to be happening this week. Daily, I do think pulls back to about $22.69, $22.75, and then we continue on higher towards the prior highs and with the legitimate chance to break them. Zcash, weak. If it does move up, I'd say $65 is resistance, but weekly looking very bad as well. I don't like this chart. I really don't like this chart. But again, it's gonna catch wind of what the general market does. So I guess if I had to say something, probably does hit that 65 marker, and I would be looking for pressure there. Bcash, what's Bcash doing? I think I said yesterday that I was looking for did I say that yesterday that I was looking for this one to sweep those? Again, whatever Bitcoin's doing, these ones are going to mirror. This one, probably does close above the 21 today at 268, and does work its way towards 295 overall. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly's getting picked up decently. As long as the weekly does not close below 245, this is okay. Tron Cash, it's fighting here. It's really fighting. I need to see Tron close above 2.5 cent, 2.49 and a half. If it can close above this 21, essentially, then I would be looking for ultimately higher back towards 2.7 cent. We've come down and tested support multiple times. That's been good, but it's gonna depend on where the weekly closes. If the weekly closes anywhere above like 2.45, it's gonna be good. And good is relative, right? But probably has another move up. If it closes anywhere below, then I'd be bearish, looking for a move down. Neocash, same thing, but the area of operation is 1010. That's the magic number. Although daily looks like it wants to move higher. Daily looks like it wants to move towards $11 to me. Daily looks like it wants to move up, to put it quite clearly. Yeah, about $11. 10 and a half, then $11. EOS Cash, yep. I think I was a little more bullish on this one, and I'd still probably stick with that. Probably back up to like 536-ish area. What about Ripple Me Nipples Cash? Yeah, probably back up and testing 31.2 cent. Again, all the market kind of wants to pop back up and test these areas, I think. Monero Cash, what the fuck? This one's like one of the ones that really throws me for a loop. I don't know. I don't know. Yesterday I felt strongly that it was going to pop back up and test $70.50. I don't have a strong opinion now. I mean, this is kind of a weird response from it. It's a pretty weird response. But if you took the trade yesterday, that was a trade to have. You don't always have to be in a fucking trade, right? I think I'd probably just hold off here. But again, gonna do whatever the rest of the market does. Spies, but nope, we already looked at that. Stellar, I'd look for a move back towards about 10.5. 10.55 cent, something like that. Yeah, weekly resistance right around that area, 10.69. I would be looking for resistance there. And I think that does it for all of the top shitcoins. Let's go check out one Forex. Let's do one little Forex. Let's do CAD dollar. What did I say on this? Bearish. Ugh. Sorry, Canada. Sorry, Trudeau. But there's going to be no vacations anytime soon. I'll put it that way. Weekly looks like it wants to fall off a cliff, man. Monthly looks like wants to come back down to prior lows right around 73.35, but that's very far out. What about a 4 hour? 4 hour looks like it wants up. Lower time frames probably pop back up to like 74.35, but higher time frames are bearish. Daily resistance right around 34, 70, 30. Sorry, 70. Oh my God, did I say that wrong the first time? Let me get this right. 74.35 is what I'm trying to say. All right, anyways, back on to Mr. Bitcoin, and let's wrap this bitch up. Okay, Mr. Bitcoin being resilient once again, but let's kind of tie it up on the daily. Okay, daily here, there's no real reason to be bearish in my opinion, as long as we're above 53, above this blue 377 exponential, and of course the 21 exponential as well. But I assume that we're probably going to cross the blue 377 before we actually come back and test it with the 21, and that's going to be interpreted as bullish as well. Overall, I am looking for continuations here. We did see a sell-off off the prior highs. What was it? About $100 down. Sorry, about $80 down. That's a decent reaction. But look at the hourly right over here. It just gets picked up and moves onwards. I do think that we do officially test the highs right around 56. Maybe another pullback right around there, but maybe another pullback down to like 55. But ultimately, I do think that this one does try higher based off the higher time frames. I would be bullish on those. It's the lower time frames that yes, at some point we will have a more aggressive pullback. But first things first, I want to I'll give it a chance for the 4 hour to close. The 4 hour is going to close relatively strong. So again, as long as we're above this 5300 pivot, this is your big pivot now for being like just generally bullish in my opinion, with regards to these medium time frames. With the lower time frames, where would my pivot be? I guess I'd have to say, if we go over here to Bid Mexico, this blue box territory right here at about 54.60. As long as we're above 54.60, I do like that. It has been retested as support, and we're about to close this next 4 hour low, and I do believe that we probably will come back down and retest this area again, but I'd be looking for it to be picked up. If this area does fail, I'd be looking for a move back down here towards about 53.50, and then we'll kind of talk about that if that happens, the projection after that. Anyways, for now, that's going to do it for now. Been an absolute pleasure speaking with you on this lovely Friday. Yeah. Hey, happy end of the week, except doesn't matter if it's the end of the week because you're a cryptocurrency trader. So get ready for some more work over the weekend. Anyways, I'll be back on later with some more live stream action. The last one for the week, and looking forward to see you there. Take care and see you soon.